Hi, thank you for joining me for another tutorial in Melinda's Rubber Room. I am Melinda Pierce and I'm an independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator, and I'm here today to show you how to make this fun fold card. It's a corner tuck card, so it tucks under just like so. So it's a really quick and easy card to make. I made this during one of my featured projects on my Zoom sessions. My Zoom sessions are Wednesday mornings from 10 to noon Pacific time, as well as Saturdays, same time, 10 o'clock to noon. If you'd like any more information on those Zoom sessions, hop over to my Facebook page at www.facebook.com/Melinda's Rubber Room, and you can find the featured project there, as well as all the information to join me on the Zoom session. I go through exactly what I'm doing now, showing you exactly how to make this card. I give you all the dimensions ahead of time so you can come prepared. And it's a great time to just ask questions and get together with other stampers and just kind of socialize. So I'm going to point you down and show you how to make this card, and hopefully you can join along with me. So this is actually a pretty quick and easy card to make. I have all of the cutting instructions and measurements here on my little post-it notes. I do provide all this information on my Facebook notification about my Zoom classes, so you can always go back to my previous Zoom session and see those measurements as well. They're all written down for you. Okay, so you're going to start with a base cardstock that measures 4 1/4 by 8. Sorry, I just misplaced my cardstock. Okay, here we go. So 4 1/4 by 8, and it's scored at 2 1/2 along the 8-inch side of the cardstock. So that gets folded like that. I had a square piece of cardstock that matched this cardstock. That was a 3-inch square, and I've already cut it as a diagonal. So all you do is you take a 3-inch square, you put it into your cutter on a diagonal and cut it exactly in half. So that creates the card base. I did the same thing with designer series paper. I went ahead and glued those two triangles together. I put 3 dimensionals onto the back. You want to make sure that you're not getting in the way of this section here on the triangle. So I'm just going to remove those, dimensional backings, and adhere it right into the corner of my card base. Just like that. You want to make sure that it's flush in that corner. Okay, and then we have 2 pieces of 3 by 3 pieces of white cardstock. One is going to be on the inside of my card and one is going to be on the outside. So I'll go ahead and stamp my inside first. It's going to have my words, and it's going to have a little deer, and I think I'm going to stamp that in spruce. So shaded spruce was the color of my cardstock that I used for my base. So this the stamp set that I'm using is called Peaceful Deer. It's this one here from the mini catalog, and it also has a coordinating punch to go with it. So this punch will punch out this deer that I'm using today, as well as this deer, which you can just ink it up and stamp it, and then color it in with your blends if you want to. I also used this little deer, the one that's sitting down, this one here, I used that one on the inside. And then this one here is being used on the outside. Okay. So now that I have my inside piece all stamped and ready to go, I can go ahead and mount that to the inside of my card. So what I'm going to do is just take some of my glue and put a little bit all around the edge. And I'm just going to kind of center it onto my base with a little corner tucked in to that corner that I created. And because I used glue, I have a little bit of shimmy room there to move it around. Okay, so that's how that's going to go. And now I'm going to take my outside piece. So what I did was I created my own background paper just by repeatedly stamping my trees. So I have a couple different trees here. And what I'm going to do is stamp some of the background trees first. I think it works better if you go from light to dark with your trees. So you can even stamp off a couple of times since this is a pretty dark color. Sometimes my trees look like they're falling. So this is just to create a little background. There's no real rhyme or reason or wrong way to do it. Okay, and then I'm going to take the single tree and stamp that full strength. As the trees get closer, they become darker. Okay, and you can stamp some other ones closer together as well. I mean, farther up if you want, just to create a little bit of a contrast. Okay, so that is going to be the background. So I'm going to mount that on a piece of cherry cobbler that measures 3 1/8 by 3 1/8. Just like so. And then I can go ahead and get my card base back. I'm going to take a piece of designer series paper. This one is cut at 1 inch by 4 inch. And that is just going to go right onto the side of this small side piece here. And then I'm going to take this piece that I stamped with the trees, and I'm just going to put glue on this side of the back of the piece that I stamped. So it's going to go on the flap just like that. So I don't want to put any glue on this side of the flap because that's going to glue the card together. It's going to glue it shut. And when I lay this down, I want to make sure that I'm laying it right on top of the piece that I've already put on the inside. So it's just going to cover that right up so that that little message will be a surprise when you open the card. So it'll go on just like so. And open up and the saying is right there. Okay, so then we're going to go ahead and stamp the deer. So this time I want a little bit of a contrast, so I'm going to stamp the deer in the cherry cobbler. And then to make sure that I line that up just perfectly, I'm going to take the punch and look at it from the back side and line that right up with that little deer. You almost always want to stamp your image first and then punch it out. That way you know that your image is nice and centered on your punch. Okay, that looks good. And I'm not going to use the antlers. I'm just going to adhere this right onto my card, but I am going to pop it up with some dimensionals. If you want to get some dimensionals on the little legs, you can cut some of the straight piece of your dimensionals kind of in half. And even that might be too wide, so I'm just going to cut it even thinner. So we have little strips of dimensionals. I always kind of worry about the legs kind of bending backwards once the card is received, or bending forwards and coming off altogether. So this will help prevent that. Never too early to get started with your Christmas cards either. This way you're not scrambling to get them done at the last minute, and it actually kind of helps you get into the mood of the cooler seasons. Okay, so that's just going to be mounted right up on top like that. You know, make sure you leave enough room down on the bottom. So I've already stamped my image, my greeting, and went ahead and die cut that out. And I'm going to raise that up on dimensionals as well. And see how quick and easy this card goes together, and you can actually use up a lot of your scrap designer series paper on this card, because all you need is that little side piece and the corner piece. There we go. And then all we have left to do is add the ribbon going around. So I'm going to take some cherry cobbler ribbon. I'm going to open this up, just wrap it around this flap here. And I'll just make a regular knot, like you would on a package. Just like so. And trim off those tails a little bit. And there is the completed card. And then that corner just tucks in underneath that, like so. So really quick and easy. Made a couple different variations here, all using that same designer series paper pack. All the same design, just mixing up some of the colors. That one there. And this one. And don't forget, with the paper being double-sided, you can actually make some in this design, and then with your offcuts, create some in this design. I think these two pieces are actually on the opposite side of each other. So if you're making one, you can make a whole bunch using that same paper pack. So I hope you learned something new. It was kind of a fun new fold for me. I had not done that one before. So hopefully you saw how quickly and easy that goes together, and almost anybody can put that one together. If you have any questions, feel free to message me on the video link below. Or you can go over to my Facebook page at www.facebook.com/Melinda's Rubber Room. If you'd like to make any purchases with Stampin' Up, please do so at my online store at www.melindapierce.stampinup.net. I would love to help you out with anything that you might need. Again, if you have any questions, feel free to message me. I'd be happy to help you out. Hope you have a great day. Bye-bye.